Hey, it's live. Recast T'Challa conference, global effort with Buckmeister cult. Why is it important? Let's just start there. You were saying this right before we hit live. I
Oh,
realized,
right,
oh,
right,
it's
right.
live. We gotta go. Just continue what you were telling me.
All right, cool. Hey, what's up, everybody in Chill Manga Land? This is your boy Buckmaster Cool. Yeah, I was just talking to Chill, and Chill was talking about me slowing down on Twitter. And again, I don't take that as a criticism. I understand 100% what you're saying. The thing for me is why I can't slow down in particular on Twitter and other social media apps is just because I've not seen his name trend like outside of a few times. Like he hasn't trended as since the new comic book has dropped. He hasn't trended since like his the announcement of Ultimate Invasion. I haven't seen him trending. Like people are talking about Marvel Comics, but they're not talking about T'Challa. They're just not talking about T'Challa. And then when they do have conversations on T'Challa, it is misinformation central. Like there's people saying that Peter Parker is smarter than T'Challa. I love Peter Parker. I'm a huge Peter Parker fan. My house, I know the theme Spider-Man, Spider. Yeah, I know the theme song. But he's not smarter than T'Challa. I'm sorry. He's just not. It's just no. And people swear he is. People swear that Shuri's smarter than T'Challa. People swear that Shuri's a better fighter than T'Challa. Like there's so much misinformation around the character that I'm like, I can't keep quiet. I can't like, even if it seems redundant, even if it seems like it's a non-effort, right? Talking about the character is so important because I'm like, that's the only way we can get people to actually see what T'Challa is about. I'm like, I'm not in this to like get algorithms going and all of these things. Like
Which was my point.
anytime,
Which is why I
yeah,
said to slow down, because the algorithm would pick you up if you are more
yeah.
concentrated with your efforts of the tweets. I didn't mean to slow down because I don't want you to tell T'Challa's story. That's not what I meant. In case
No.
okay.
I 100% understand what you're saying.
I know
I'm
you
just
got
saying
it,
for
but they
me,
but they don't get it. Yeah.
yeah. And also, like when I'm doing my tweets, it is a strategy in a sense because the things that I'm using is just when the characters are trending. So if you ever see me use Batman, it's because I search the trending tab and I see that people are talking about Batman. So I'm like, okay, if we're talking about Batman, let's talk about the fact he gets recast. Whenever you see hey, Diesel, oh man, SSJK, yo. No, he's not. He just isn't. Peter Parker just isn't. And I'm sorry because T'Challa just has like the thing is with Peter Parker, he's had what's the privilege of being interpreted multiple times
Right.
across multiple mediums. So people have seen him be smart everywhere.
Hmm.
Whereas T'Challa, he just hasn't had that. He just hasn't had that. But he created a whole new dimension of physics called shadow physics. I haven't seen, and when people say, well, Peter Parker made a time traveling machine with a, it made a time traveling machine with a, what was it? I think it was a microwave or something. And I'm like, yeah, like great. That's like an outlier, but like T'Challa has consistently been developing stuff and consistently been at like reinterpreting other people's tech into his own tech as well. He turned one of Doom's nanobots into a device to spy on other people.
I'm trying to find the exact page
Uh
because you mentioned
Doom War.
the shadow physics, and I'm like, wait, where was that? Was that Doom War 4, Doom War 5?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out.
I think it's three. I think it's issue number
It was a
three.
3? Okay, okay.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere there. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, T'Challa, he just hasn't had the media. And also, there's this defeatist attitude on Twitter. And I see it a lot from, and I don't want to put no shade on nobody, but I
Yeah,
see it a
sure,
lot from
absolutely.
Black
That's not what we're here
Americans.
for. Yeah, we're here for recasting T'Challa. That's the primary objective
Yeah,
of
but
this
I'm just,
recast T'Challa thing.
what I'm saying is, I see a lot of defeatist thing where people will say, well, there's not enough stories. And I'm like, which books did you guys read? What are you reading to tell me there's not enough story to adapt of T'Challa for movies? I don't understand. Like this is not hard. Like can we just stop acting like this is hard?
I'll
That's one of my biggest issues.
I'll tell you, those issues where Shuri was the Black Panther was T'Challa's story, because once you see that he goes, all right, and they were at the waterfall, and he's like, all right, everything's going according to plan, and now we're gonna get out and snipe Doom. We're gonna get rid of this Disturi, these nationalists who are in Wakanda who don't want to assimilate. That was the whole thing. It's all T'Challa's story. I interrupted you by showing some of these things to say what's up to Diesel. You were in the middle of saying something about when you see Batman trend, you come in with the hey, these guys got a chance, the privilege to. So you utilize what is happening on Twitter. Was that your complete thought, or did you have more to say about
No,
Batman?
no, 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 no. I mean, I can keep going
Yeah,
because like that's all I want people to understand. If you ever see me tweeting daily, it's not aimlessly. I'm not just throwing things out. I'm always searching the tab. I'm always looking at what's trending. I'm always like seeing what comic book characters are trending in whatever capacity. Like Catwoman this week was trending because of that horrible page with her and Batman. I read it out of context, but I don't even want to read the book because I'm just like, this looks bad. But anyway, she was trending, and I was like, Catwoman has had several iterations across multiple like movies
yeah,
and TV shows. So like, and the reason why I'm doing this is because Marvel and DC share the same audience. It's
yeah. I
not
get
that
it.
the audience is different.
It's the same
Like,
store we go to collect these
yes,
comics.
yes, it's not like people are seeing like they'll watch a Captain America, but they won't watch a Batman movie.
No,
We all saw Batman
alphabetically, if you
versus
look
Superman.
at the comic book shop, letter B is right next to letter C. The comics are right next to each other. On the digital comicsology app, wherever you go, they're right next to each other. Marvel, DC, Dark Horse, it doesn't matter.
So if the same crowd can understand that DC can recast people, why is it so hard to fathom another actor being T'Challa? Let's
And not that the
like
child, and
you
not that the
see.
child,
Yes,
because
no, no, no,
when
no,
it
no, no,
comes
no. We're
to
not doing that.
Selena Kyle and when it comes to Bruce Wayne and how we see them iteration after iteration, every reboot, let's just say that they go 10 years gung ho with the child. He says, don't call me by my Haitian name of Toussaint. You're going to call me T'Challa. Let's just pretend you get T'Challa in the form of the T'Child for 10 years. One day there's going to be a reboot, and that character doesn't survive because I got my doubts that in the second MCU that they do the new one, that the
It
actor's
won't
going to
happen.
die midway, and they're going to say, "Let's give him a bastard son and do the child." So I'm not for elevating a character that has a shelf life and a dead end. It's really a waste of resources, which is rare for 200 million plus the marketing budget plus the attachment to the cinematic universe, just the privilege of what T'Challa had when he was launched and what he will always have being part of Marvel. It's rare for that many resources to go to a black character, and when we do it to a character who looks like that, it should be for one who is a perennial presence over and over, not his sister or his or even his ancestors going back. I'm not in favor of other T'Challas or other Black Panthers who are like the video game. I hope they don't go this route. It's early in development, but if they do,
I was big mad about that.
I don't think it's
Oh, I was
registering. What's
mad.
needed is for a character to be elevated. I once, and I'll read some of you guys' live chats. I'm not ignoring you, but we do have a little bit of time sensitivity. How much longer can you stay with us, Buckmeister
Oh
Cool?
no, I'm here. I'm here for like another like hour and a half.
Oh,
Or
we're good then. So I'll just show you
yeah.
this. I had a ranking. Let me not be rude. Let me put you on. I had a ranking where I was like, look, Spider-Man is the top superhero at Marvel and Wolverine. And this is my subjective,
How the hell is
opinion on this.
Venom there?
In
Anyway,
Marvel Comics, Venom is selling a lot of comics. He's and they get Donny Cates
fair
and some of
enough.
the best comic book creators. I put T'Challa right in the middle, as you can kind of see. In my view, he is the 16th most best treated character within Marvel. And if you ask me, this character needs to get elevated, and we can't elevate him if he's off screen or if he's off the panels or if he's not there. I view the comic book kind of movie rankings that way. If we want to do something for black representation, there's two characters who that's going to be done with. In Marvel, it's Storm and it's T'Challa. And to be like, hey, everyone, let's really get behind, like to crap on Falcon. Falcon, let's really get behind Misty Knight. Let's really get behind Luke Cage. Let's really get behind Photon. They don't really title anything. And I know there's not the push there. They don't have 219 comic books that they're self-titled after. They're just not the same. And so the uniqueness, the severity, or the amount of potential influence that these two characters, Storm and T'Challa, and right now it's T'Challa that because Storm isn't out yet, is worthy of this hard kind of campaign and advocacy for recasting, as well as educating. If you see Theo, I ain't saying, I'm just saying with Theo Butler, that YouTuber, he's going off and he's
Ah,
always
my
for,
man.
for the sake of education. He just did like a live stream a few hours ago, maybe 12 hours back, and he was talking about how He said the people that look like us are who we have to challenge and who we have to battle. And coming from that perspective, giving he talked about his military experience. He really he was pouring his heart out. I'm gonna do a disservice by talking about it, but I know
No,
you
I think
saw it.
I caught the replay. I think I caught the replay.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm South African, so and my accent is just that's just a consequence of me growing up on a lot of American media. I don't have any like I don't have any like delusions about like I understand the plight of Black Americans or whatever. Just like because I mean, as much as South Africa and America have similar histories, there is nuance and difference and all of that stuff, and I'm aware of that.
Similar enemy
Yeah, yeah.
and
It's like
similar
chocolate.
benefit from T'Challa and this constant portrayal of
No,
T'Challa on screen.
something people need to understand, right? Africa never had a Comic Con until 2018. Never. It never happened. Like all these 10 years of Marvel movies, we bought tickets, we all saw them. I went to the theater to go see Iron Man. I went to the theater to go see Incredible Hulk. I was there. I paid tickets. I was there. We never had a Comic Con until 2018. But we've been watching these cartoons. Like, there's a bunch of South Africans you can ask about Transformers. There's a bunch of South Africans that you can ask about Ninja Turtles. I'm one of them. Like, you can ask us about this stuff and we'll be able to tell you. But we never had a Comic Con until 2018. Why? Why? Now, we know why, but just think about it. T'Challa did that.
Yeah.
Black Panther 1 did that. Created a whole industry for African creatives who never had the ability to sell their stories anywhere, gave them a platform that they can do that. You kill that potential, you kill all of those stories.
Well, as Feige
Not
said, it's
well,
with
not kill
fun,
them.
but
Let me not say kill them. Let me say
no,
you
just
you delay it.
64%. It wasn't a kill, it wasn't a murder, but it's just 64% less impactful, 64% less
Yes,
box office gross,
yes.
64% less influence. That's all, 64%, everybody. I'm gonna read some of those tweets that we were talking about with Theo and the African versus the American versus the because somebody was tweeting that yesterday or maybe 2 days ago, depending on where you are in the world. But and we'll get to that. But let's read some of these people's input. I wonder what Wesley and Singleton Black Panther movie would have been.
I'd
Ooh,
like to have seen that.
yeah, and it would have
I
prepped.
love Wesley Snipes. Those Blade movies. By the way, Marvel, what the hell is happening with Blade? God damn it.
Peter Smart, he's not T'Challa. Reed Richard. There's a lot of Blade stories. Yeah, there's less Blade stories for sure. If I look at the legacy numbering on Blade, I don't even think there's legacy numbering. Those people never read the stories. That's why I won't act like I read them. But he has content that dates back to the '60s. There's enough Black Panther source material for at least a dozen more films. Of course there is. That's just a foolish thing to pretend there isn't. To say T'Challa doesn't have enough stories to adapt is ignorant, especially from the Black audience that never once picked up his comics. Robert says, hi, Robert, by the way. Never seen your name
Hey,
before.
what's up, brother?
Aren't writers paid to creatively make up stories? You know what? That's that too. That too.
What are we talking about?
100% agree. These people can't even let go of Hugh Jackman
They're gonna have to. Hugh
eventually.
Jackman said he's done. There's no more 10 years. He was talking about how he has to not drink water, how working out is painful. He's not gonna keep being Wolverine. But there is no universe in which X-23 will take over and she'll be the Wolverine next to Jean and Scott Summers. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
I'm fine with the new Wolverine, Stark, and Steve Rogers. Of course, Professor the Film Fan, hello. Recast helps the mythos and allows conversations. Every day you see people arguing about who's the best Batman. You can't do that for T'Challa in live action. And that's a big gripe that I have too. Thanks for bringing up K. Dot. Because I hate when people say like only T'Challa, only Chadwick Boseman can beat T'Challa, and that's just a testament of how good he was. And they think they're really like complimenting him to the moon when what they're doing is regressing the possible potential that this man who spent the last few years of his life, he was dying, but he still found reason to wake up and represent the character, film and do the what if voice acting for him. He dedicated his life to it. Why the F would you kill it? Did they kill Price is Right when Bob Barker died? No. Did they say for What else? I can give other examples and analogies, but when the human
No,
being,
here's a perfect one. Here's a perfect one. George Reeves.
yeah,
George Reeves killed himself because he felt like he was in a box because people kept casting him as Superman from what I've read. I don't know if that's the truth. I hope it's not the truth because that's a waste of life, in my opinion. But I'm saying actors don't like boxes. They never have. Like, I don't understand this thing of where it has to only, like, because you're also contradicting Chadwick. He literally has a video where he was talking about there can only be one and how it's a detrimental mentality. I don't understand why we're playing this game of it can only be him when he literally was counter to that. It doesn't make sense.
and then when you do the T'Child, who's you're supposed to accept him as T'Challa, what are you saying then? Then you are saying there could be more than one T'Challa, except you got to do it in a roundabout way. It's like you're saying both the wrong thing and the right thing, and you're just ruining mythos.
And the
And I
other
believe
problem with T'Challa Jr., the big problem with T'Challa Jr., people don't understand, is that he is just a device to steal T'Challa stories. That's all he is. He's not his own character. He's just invented to take something that's already there, and then we have to have this whole big clash of, well, it was T'Challa in the comics, it's T'Challa Jr. in the movies. No, that doesn't work. And also, his parentage is important. Why do we keep acting like T'Challa's parentage is not important? Because it's important in the comic books. It was important in the first Black Panther movie. Like T'Challa is who he is because of the people that were in his story. If T'Challa Jr. doesn't have a T'Chaka, then that's already a huge perspective that he's missing on being a king. If T'Challa Jr. doesn't have a Ramonda, that's already a huge perspective that he's missing. If T'Challa Jr. doesn't have a Nyami, who's his original mom, that's already a huge perspective that he's missing.
what country was Nyami originally from?
No, she's from Wakanda. Ramonda's the only one from South Africa.
Damn, I'm
Nyami,
wrong. I'm wrong. I was trying to give you a layup where you're gonna say South Africa, but I guess I'm wrong
uh,
about that. My mistake.
no. Ramonda's from South Africa because originally she meets T'Chaka after Nyami dies. I think T'Challa was like 8 years old, and she was like depending on retcons and all of those things, but like apparently she was roaming the plains, and she found T'Challa as a child and brought him back to T'Chaka, and then that's when her and T'Chaka fell in love, and then they got married.
Gotcha. This child is about to get
No, it's also
reborn.
not gonna. No, that's not gonna happen. Here's the other thing: you have to like. Let's think about this logically. When they introduce the X Men, who's gonna be children in the X Men? Who? It's not gonna happen. Storm fans are gonna riot if she's a child. They're going to riot.
She
There's
won't be,
no
but
way.
they could always do some time skip or something. You never know. Like it's fantasy. Every great moment is don't call yourself a person of color, diabolical nerd. That's self-marginalizing language. Because what do you call the people who are not people of color? Do you call them people of colorless? Right? And I would stay away from that. I mean, it's your life, but that's just my thing. Uh, every great moment of POC they suppress. They're doing it in Florida. They did it in history, Tulsa. They did it in fantasy with every POC color. Yeah. So, and Theo's in the building. What's going on, Theo?
Hey, Theo, what's
Several
good?
black mutants in the X-Men lore. You're right, but I mean, Storm is the most impactful one, and I don't want to ever waste resources on, oh, just any black character will do. I know that Storm's the one who's been in the animated cartoon and popularity in comic books, treated with high reverence, a lot of lore to adapt, as well as movie
Yeah, the
appearances.
reverence. It's no, but I get what you're saying. Like the thing is, we need to establish somebody. Like T'Challa and Storm have the best chance, and the
Yes.
thing is that there's a trickle down effect. Once you establish them, once they're the biggest resource in comics, then other characters can piggyback off that success and become big themselves. It's the whole reason why T'Challa is such a big deal because he was the first. Luke Cage doesn't exist without T'Challa.
Without
Sam
T'Challa being
Wilson doesn't.
successful.
Yes, without T'Challa being successful. Yeah. If T'Challa wasn't successful, so many characters would be dead in the water, which is why putting him at the top, putting him first, putting him on the level of Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man is hella important.
Way more important to me to have T'Challa being treated like a Captain America character in the movies than it is to have like, oh look, we got 10 black characters in Marvel, but they're all at the
Yeah.
Vision, Hawkeye level. I don't want that. I don't want
Yeah.
quantity. That's the enemy of representation when you got all these characters. Look how not racist we are because we have so many characters. Now, the three heroes that are going to be standing in front of Thanos, they're all going to be white guys. But don't worry, we're diverse because
Yeah,
Rhodey's
yeah,
in
yeah.
here, and we definitely have that other character. You know, let's make the president black. That'd be big. Yeah, president. Give him like 2 or 3 scenes. That's right. Yeah, we're not racist here at Marvel. I don't care. I don't care. T-
No, I agree with you. I mean, we've had this conversation in comment section sometimes. I mean, we talked about Kizazimoto and everything, and I totally see where
Oh
you're
yeah.
saying that. Like, yeah, it's 10 episodes, it's 10 shorts, it's not going to go anywhere. And I see what you're saying when you say that. I really do. I mean, it's a little bit of a different context just because I'm South African, but in terms of being objective about it, I totally understand what you're saying, which is kind of why I'm putting most of my time behind T'Challa anyway.
I was just recommended My Dad the Bounty Hunter. It's something I got to see on Netflix. It's not even
Oh, it's
something I
really
knew.
good.
It's not even something I knew existed until this month.
Yeah.
And when I first saw it, I was just scrolling and I'm like, oh, it's called My Dad the Bounty. Man, why not My Dad the Pharmacist? Why couldn't it be my? I'm just saying, like, there's My Dad the taxi driver. My dad. Oh, that's a bad example. That's not a very high profile job. But I'm just like, yo, bounty
Yeah,
hunter. Do I
yeah.
really got to see a dad killing? So I just whatever. But I saw the trailer now, and I gotta pick it up and I've got to give it attention, and then we got to do a coverage of it here with a whole big panel of people who like that show.
I'll tell you, dude, it's a really good show. I really liked both seasons and everything. And the bounty hunter thing, they don't really kind of lean into that. They lean more into the dad aspect of the character and everything. And his relationship with his kids is awesome. Oh, Black Comic Lords, what's good?
This is who
Uh,
told me to I have to start watching it.
yeah, no, it's really good. I'll tell you why. It's really good.
That's why
Uh,
Ramonda should have not been the queen. It should have gone to her daughter. She couldn't defend the crown in hand-to-hand combat anyway.
Yeah, well, okay, well, hold on. Let's with in regards to Ramonda, she is Queen Mother of Wakanda. Let's not do that now. And she's Queen Mother because of her marriage to T'Chaka, and she pretty much quickly adapts to Wakandan culture very well. So I don't see why her being queen is an issue. And also the way that they handle Challenge Day in the MCU is just weird anyway. Like I tried to make it through Wakanda Forever. I really did. I couldn't do it. Like one of my biggest issues with that movie is that M'Baku, he's acting like he's never been in a fight ever in his life ever. And I'm just like, what happened to this guy? Like you fought aliens. You telling me fish people and you're arm wrestling Shuri while she's on the serum? That's cheating, by the way.
Hey, that's a new one. I also watched the movie with difficulty. I did it right here on the computer screen there because I wasn't gonna pay for it. I pirated it. I said, okay, I'm glad I didn't fund this. And the dilution of who is the Black Panther was not something that Chillmonger's dollars supported.
I couldn't even pirate it, man. I couldn't find myself to just look at this thing like anywhere. Like it took me, I think it took me almost a year to even watch a clip. Like I haven't even heard a line of dialogue or
Mm.
anything, just because the whole thing to me, it's a special type of defeat when they kill your favorite character when they don't have to. It's a special type of like you guys are really doing this. Like we're really doing this. We're really gonna bury T'Challa after one movie, and we're burying him when we have so many other options. Like we have Scrolls, we have the Blip, we have I don't understand why. And then also when people say, "Well, you can't bring him back. What do you want to do? Time travel?" It's like, what happened to fiction?
What happened to Loki getting choked out? No tricks this time. Hey, season 2 of Loki comes next month, everybody.
No. The Gamora got thrown off a goddamn mountain, and then she's back in Avengers Endgame.
Huh?
Thanos got his head chopped off at the beginning of Endgame, and then I'm back. I'm inevitable. Like
I'm inevitable.
what are we doing?
Yeah.
I don't understand this. I like we're not kids anymore. We understand that this is fiction, right? Like this isn't the era where people used to run into traffic with a cape to try and stop a car because they saw Superman do it. What are we doing?
Right? Read a couple more of these, couple more. Greetings. The cool kids think they
Yeah.
know the best because T'Challa is cool now. They,
But the thing is, they're not making money. Like, let's even take the emotion out. Let's get practical. They're not making money. 500 million less than Black Panther 1. That's a whole movie budget.
mm,
That's a whole that's a what? That's a Shazam Fury of the Gods. That's a
no,
lot of money.
yeah,
And remember, Wakanda Forever was supposed to be the thing that brought back Phase 4 because everybody was saying, oh, Phase 4 kind of mid, but Wakanda Forever. Phase 4 is pretty bad, but Wakanda Forever. And Wakanda Forever didn't do it. It underperformed.
I would say it underperformed, but it got lucky because the Black Panther movie taps into a different audience that isn't the traditional film audience. So yeah, while it looks like okay, we grossed 800 something million, then Quantumania hits, and all of a sudden you don't have that audience you hit for Black Panther, and you realize, oh, okay, this stunk. We're not really executing. We're not hitting on all cylinders, and so we do need to make some changes. Uh, Wakanda Forever grossing half a million is, I mean, half a billion is what your point is, and I agree with this point. It's just math. You have to understand that the sales of the toys are also reflective.
Grossing half a million less than Black Panther 1, just because people are going to try and twist that out of context.
Grossing, what did I say?
You said grossing half a billion or something, so you have to say half a billion less.
You're right. You're right.
It's YouTube, man. It's
No,
Twitter.
no.
Like somebody's gonna clip something.
Hey, clip this because I just got half of $10.
Hey, that's pretty cool. Shout out to you.
You're a wrestling fan?
Yeah. Well, not anymore. I used to be. I was a big Attitude Era fan and Ruthless Aggression and all of that stuff. I'm dipping in and out right now. My cousin is a big fan. He watches AEW all the time.
AEW's, yeah, not to change the topic. So look, one of the topics that we've been cooking on Twitter was the topic of an African actor, or how do African people represent with this, and how what about the Americans who are black, who want to look at it that a certain way. I hate this divisive rhetoric. I don't see the benefit because it is acting. It is a guy who has an ability to change his voice to sound like he's from this place that doesn't even exist.
No, I
Not
think
interested.
people misunderstood me. What I was saying is that I think African actors should audition. That's all I was saying. Is that I have a couple guys here that I've watched locally that I think could fit the part. And
And
then
there's not many $200 million roles that is criteria they meet, that they could actually, they don't have to work on the voice. It become pretty naturally to them. And so when there is an opportunity like this, it's worth saying that that person should have a chance to uh
yeah, again, I'm
interview.
not asking for preference.
Yeah,
That's
right.
not the point. The
I don't
point
think
is
that.
T'Challa must come back. That's the point. I
Yes.
don't care who gets it. I don't care if it's Chip Chip Cheerio and Good Day, sir. I don't care. Whoever it is, I'm just saying personally, this is the guy I would suggest. That's all I'm saying.
But
Now,
if Yolanda
people,
Well gets the job, or John David Washington,
I don't
who
care.
cares?
Who cares? Who? I've even been pushing Yolanda Noel, and I don't even know a lot of his projects. I'm just like, get somebody in there who looks like T'Challa. I don't care. All I'm saying is that African actors should audition and campaign. That's all I'm saying. Because it's just because you want a local boy to win where you are, but it doesn't mean that just because he loses that it's a bad thing. It's whatever.
Now, do you see how there's a wedge that was created out of nowhere, out of thin air? So, like, if you're pro a male character, oh, you just don't want Shuri to be successful in your being. So, you see how they try to divide and try to look for some sort of like hole in this logic to make you out to be some sort of a monster when it's not the case. All he said on Twitter was the truth of that. There should be no restrictions on who can play T'Challa, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's going to be great publicity if they say, we went to the motherland to get T'Challa this time, and this isn't something that we would have done prior, but now, since 2018, we can now do that, and it's thanks to Chadwick Boseman, what he brought. He did such a good job that we can't even find another American to do it. We have to go get the original because that's the only way that'll match. You can compliment Chadwick while you're doing this. It's got a lot of good publicity that they can garner from
No,
this.
also when they did the first Black Panther, that's what they did. Like Chadwick built his accent over touring South Africa. Like that's what they did is they went to a bunch of local people. Like that's how John Kani and them actually even got into the movie. Because you need to understand, for South Africa, it was a big deal to see a Tanwa Kani and John Kani in the MCU.
What is
We
that?
didn't see it coming. The guy who played T'Chaka.
Oh, is that him? Okay.
Yeah. Like old T'Chaka and young T'Chaka. They're South African actors. So we didn't see that coming. We didn't know that they were going to be in the movie. Like there was no announcement or publicity or anything. We just found them in the MCU. And we were just like, holy crap.
Uh-huh.
And that spurred a lot of people to go get tickets. That spurred a lot of people to wear like we had fried chicken in the theater. We had fried chicken in the theater at that day. I couldn't believe it. Like there was not even popcorn or anything. I think even the matrons just let people take whatever food they wanted. There was mopani worms. There was pop. It was a good time.
I
But
can imagine.
yeah, but like all I'm saying is again, personally, I really don't care. Like I was just saying that it would be cool if it happened, but that's like if another Black American gets it, I'll be as hype. I will support like tenfold. I will watch his movies. I will go to see his. I will do the things that I did for Chadwick.
Wooly says that they made money because the budget was 250 million. That's
Yeah,
disputable because okay, say it. Go ahead.
okay, here's the thing that we need to understand. First off, 250 million, right? You have to double that for marketing. And remember how they marketed this thing, right? And I'm just
Heavy.
being generous right now.
Heavy.
250 million for production, and then it's another 250 million for marketing. And off of that, they made 869 million, somewhere there. So if you do the math, right, you're looking at maybe
Let's remind Wooly though that when a movie grosses 800 million, the theaters get a cut as well as the actual distributor gets a cut. So when Marvel Studios gets half of 800 million and it's somewhere roughly in the 400 million zone, then no, the production and the marketing outcost how much they gross theatrically. Now, if the toy sales were plentiful and the I don't know the other sorts of merchandising and licensing, like when you if that supersedes what the the production cost was, fine, we can have that conversation. But
which is not
theatrically,
happening.
it doesn't
The
look like
merch
it,
is
but
not
they don't have
moving,
to release those numbers publicly. But
I
so when you
guess.
say the budget is 250, it made money false. Now you say the UK actors are African actors, are they not? Yeah, I'm not making much of a distinction. I don't care
I've
if you're
never
one
made that distinction,
if you're
but
one
I'm just saying.
I think he's
Here's
being a shit
here's what I'm
disturber.
saying.
I think he's being a shit
It,
disturber. Don't even pay attention to this because the next comment is, were there any restrictions before? Like, what are you talking about? Was there restrictions on casting African actors? You mean, was there ever castings in South Africa, or do they just keep it in Hollywood? Are there any restrictions before? What kind of thing to say is that?
and
Ernest, I want my money back also. I was very disappointed in the story and the male bashing in that movie. See, I don't care about the male stuff.
I'm
I
not
feel like
looking at the male bashing.
I
I'm
don't
looking
care.
at the character bashing. Like I'm looking at the character inconsistency. Like I'm just saying, you cannot tell me that M'Baku from Black Panther 1 and M'Baku in Wakanda Forever are the same person. It no, because he's just getting his ass handed to him, and I'm like, this dude can fight. Like he's supposed to be the runner up underneath T'Challa. Why is he just getting manhandled? Like Shuri was never interested in being Black Panther, and she never showed any combat prowess prior. Like when Killmonger had Andrew, when Killmonger had her on the ground, what was going to happen? If T'Challa didn't tackle Killmonger off of into the ravine or whatever, what was going to happen? Shuri was going to die. If she was a combat master, where was the skills? And even in the own movie, there's inconsistencies because Shuri gets taken hostage. And I'm like, if you're a combat master, how did you get taken hostage by a handmaid? Like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
there's inconsistencies here. Like,
There's
it's not
inconsistency.
male bashing. It's
No,
bad
that's
writing.
the thing. Yeah, it's not male bashing, and I hate that. As soon as you mention, well, let me get back to Claybon's. I think point here. He's for seeing positive portrayal roles of black men, fathers and
Yeah,
stuff, and not
that's
bastards.
fine.
And he's for that, and which we're all for. We definitely understand it. I just mean to say that if I advocate for that, hey, what about the boys? Then in comes the, oh, so you're misogynist, eh? You're looking for
Uh,
the male. And that's why I tried to shoot it down immediately. But I mean, we're amongst common thinking people here. We're not with radicals right now. So yeah, I'm
no,
for.
and the other thing is the Black Panther fans. We have been pro female for a long time. T'Challa surrounds himself with some of the best females in comic books.
I've
What are
never
we
complained.
talking about?
I've never once complained that the first Black Panther movie had too much females. It
Never.
had a great representation when it came to that. Actually, T'Challa had less screen time than a character like Iron Man in his own film, less character screen time than Hulk in the Hulk film.
Captain America.
You
Like,
know what I mean?
what are we
So,
talking about?
but it's okay that there were a lot of women represented there, and that's fine. It's never been an issue. You can't find history of me saying anything like that. Good
You can't
points.
find history of anyone.
No, not any of us. Not from Theo. Not from D. Stiesel over here. High percentage goes to foreign theaters. That's right. I think the Chinese, if you play a movie in China, I think about a quarter of that money that you grossed will return to you.
Damn.
Yeah. The people that liked the movie, when you ask them personally about character or actor, their knowledge is deficient. They understood you, Buck. They deliberately misdirected the conversation as they are prone to do. Maybe I should pull up those tweets because we do have a little bit of time, don't we? Nothing makes more
We
sense
got
than,
some time.
yeah, it's just so we can close the chapter of this whole African actor stuff. It says, hell, the son could have played a young T'Challa. Neither of them showed up in the second movie, not even the Jalia, and they are both still alive. About the son, man, I got, and I have to be picky with my words here because any sort of insults to this character is, oh, that's a child, how dare you. So I've never posted a picture of that kid, and I advise you not to. Also, I've never tried.
I get
I
that.
call
I
him to
get that.
child. I don't do anything. I don't say the actor's name, even though I know what his name is. I'm just trying to steer clear from any sort of, let's get Chillmonger on this one. He's trying to make the new Jake Lloyd, isn't he?
But this is like such a parasocial, like, because Jake Lloyd, right? The reason why Jake Lloyd was a problem is because people were attacking a kid for something somebody wrote. Like, I don't understand. Like, are we children? Are we kids? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, when we say recast T'Challa, that's not an affront to Chadwick Boseman. That's
Mm.
not saying that Chadwick Boseman wasn't a great actor. I'm South African. People were complaining here that he was an African king. People were like, why are they getting this guy? And then I said, look, it's Hollywood and he's good. He's good.
Yeah.
So let's just go watch the movie. And guess what? I rewatched it recently. I remember having to defend Chadwick's performance in Black Panther 1. I remember people saying his character was the most boring character in the movie. And I was like, one, Chadwick actually did the best with the accent. Outside of the actual South African characters, he actually had the best accent because I was listening to Lupita Nyong'o's accent, and she was trying to do like a Xhosa thing, and I was like, "You're there. You just need to, you know."
I
But
like this.
Chadwick had it the best. Chadwick had it the best, in my opinion. That's all I'm saying. And like to me, he was the center of that film. This whole thing of everybody else was more interesting. He was pushing the film forward. He just was. Killmonger had that thing because Ryan Coogler understood how to write Killmonger better than T'Challa. But I'm just saying, in terms of the actual heroes in the movie, T'Challa, Chadwick Boseman's performance, that was what pushed that movie forward. But to say recast T'Challa is an affront to that, or to say that like people are acting like this is Men in Black 1 and the new actor's going to like pop up on the screen with a deneuralizer and he's just going to wipe everyone's memory, and then we're gonna be like, who's Chadwick? Who's a Chadwick Boseman? That's not gonna happen. That's just not gonna happen.
I mean, if we never see T'Challa again, then Chadwick Boseman's
actually, yeah.
The forgetfulness of it. We talk about other actors playing legacy characters like who get repeated when the new one happens. So David Cornswood, ask him all about how the Henry Cavill stands are keeping Henry Cavill's name in the news
No,
every
the
time.
Christopher Reeve stands.
Them too. You know, it's just a thing that repeats. So we got Jake Lloyd and Ahmed Best got the most hate.
Which doesn't make sense to me because I'm just like, it's an actor. Oh, sup. Like this is the thing. It's an actor and it's a character. I don't hate Daisy Ridley. That's not who I have issues with. I have issues with how boring Ray is. Like, why is this? Why is this so hard? I don't understand. An actor gets a role, they do their thing. You can have an issue with the character. You don't have to have an issue with the actor.
Yeah, man. Here, I'm going to share this screen with, I think this is the Twitter account that like that got us started on this African versus American, or what country does the character need to be from? Was it Movie Monster? This one here.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I want to find
And
the
here's the other thing that people need to understand. I didn't start nothing. Like I just
nope.
post on my page.
You
And then
said
people,
Chadwick never said that they should kill T'Challa if he couldn't do it. In fact, he viewed T'Challa like any other role in his career, and from what I know, would love to give another black actor an opportunity. Please listen to Chad's brother and recast T'Challa.
oh wait,
And
no, no,
then
you're reposting the wrong post. You're gonna have to go in because you're posting the quote tweet if you're trying to like my tweet. It looks like.
did I F up? We'll figure that out later.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They did want to recast him with a non-black American actor. So he introduces the whether it's America, whether it's not American, foreigner,
And
which is
also, where's his proof of this? Because, and also, like his beef, Letitia's already there, and she's already the lead, and she's already technically the Black Panther, and she's British. So what are we
it's
talking about?
I mean, it's just a way to divide even more, to separate when that's really not the case. To figure out if someone's from the Caribbean, to figure out is this guy just how far back does your ancestry go, and how many people from, I don't know, Brazil are in your family, or like there's different places who have people with melanated skin tones, and they
Who
all
also went through slavery. Like it was also localized and exported. It wasn't just one way.
west and east and north.
And
What's going
south.
on? And south. I mean, yeah, I forgot the fourth direction. Let's get back to the screen. It says with a non-black American actor, but if they did, black Americans wouldn't support it, and rightfully so, because Hollywood has been steadily replacing black American actors with foreign black actors. See, it's been happening since 2008.
Okay, so what? Idris Elba, John Boyega, Chiwetel Ejiofor. Anyone else?
Naomi Harris.
Okay, four.
I mean, that didn't stop Viola Davis from getting roles. Or who else is there? I mean,
No,
it's
these
just a
people are
silly statement.
friends.
It's just
These people are friends.
and
Like
they have
they're
no
not
problem.
even beefing.
And they act, and what they do is they perform against each other, and they are gleeful, and they all loved the Black Panther movie. Daniel Kaluuya didn't get mad. Well, he was in the movie.
Yeah,
like,
no, but I'm just saying, what are we talking about? Like when
what is
Daniel
he talking
Kaluuya,
about?
yeah, like when Daniel Kaluuya was in the movie with Fred Hampton, when he was playing Fred Hampton or whatever. I don't remember. Why am I Lakeith Stanfield? I don't know why I was forgetting his name. I don't
Uh-huh.
remember Lakeith Stanfield being like, "Why is this Black American, a Black British guy playing a Black American?" I don't remember that. I remember him just doing the movie.
Yeah, it's a non-issue, or it's someone trying to create issues, or it's someone trying to create this kind of divide between the European, who, I mean, are they even European really? They're one generation removed. Boyega's a Nigerian. One generation removed. Kuluya, same with him.
No, but like the other thing is, it's just like, oh yeah, he's talking about a Tanwakani. He's talking about a Tanwakani. And for me personally, I was like, Disney, if you guys needed a Wakanda TV series, a 6 episode history of T'Chaka with a Tandwakani as young T'Chaka solving issues in Wakanda would have been amazing. It would have been so easy to write. There's like, I have like a storyline that they could have done, and it would have been perfect, and it would have been a nice way to get more backstory on the clans and the history of Wakanda without having to kill T'Challa. Like a T'Chaka prequel series with him as king and a Tandwakani reprising the role would have been awesome. and it's easy to do. Like it's so easy. But no, we got She-Hulk for 9 episodes. And no shade to She-Hulk. Tatiana Maslany was great, but that writing was
I don't
she
want to even
saved
get
that
into it.
show.
Hey,
Anyway,
you said you like the ruthless aggression era, didn't you? Let me hit you
yeah.
with that attitude era stuff, right? Let me hit you with this.
My money stack fat, plus I can't turn the swell off. The franchise doing big business. I live.
Majin Khan. For
Oh,
me, it doesn't matter what the ethnicity of the black actor. Let's repeat that right there. From this guy who felt so passionate, he decided to put down $10. He says, for me, it doesn't matter the ethnicity of the black actor. Yolan Noel is Afro-Latino. I didn't even know that. I
I
didn't.
know that.
Okay, cool. Yolan
Okay.
Noel is from a place down south, or at least his lineage comes from a little bit more south. Before we go back to the east, it says here that, and he is my number one pick for T'Challa. Black is black, African is African. So, so
No, don't care. Whoever gets it, somebody just get in there and be T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, not T'Challa Jr. No.
when it comes to the word black, I've mentioned, and if this is the first time you're hearing me say something like this, I don't think it's a descriptive enough word to talk about what we're talking about. But when he says black is black, I do get what he's trying to say here. Sometimes I try to switch it up and I'll say dark skin tone, or I'll say melanated, or I'll say other African descendants. There's other ways I'll try to, because I want to get away from using black. And I don't want to say the word Negro either, because, I mean, if we look at the lineage of that word, it actually means literally like black. Like you see the coffee, the cap on this, it says it's black, right? It's not brown. It's and nobody's skin tone is that. So when they went and they said, well, the people who look like,
I know some people.
you know some dark people, the color of your hair.
Yeah.
It's rare. It's rare.
Yeah.
I heard there is a season 2 of She-Hulk though. I saw that tweet also, and I just kept scrolling. If they do a second
Anyway,
season,
that's another discussion for another day.
if they keep the same writer, yeah, you're right. It's another discussion.
Yeah.
I said that guy should be T'Challa since I had seen the first Purge movie. Great action film stuff. Don't get me started on the mistreatment of the Hulk fam. My number one is Aldous Hodge. That'll be nice also.
I don't care. Hey, whoever. I
Right.
don't care. Like, I mean, it's great to have these guys in the running. Don't get me wrong. I will always retweet those lists. ATL Blurred from Black Comic Lords, he has great lists and all of that stuff. We chop it up all the time on Twitter. But like for me, the number one thing is just to get them to announce a recast. Whoever they pick after that, I don't care.
The impact is what matters. And that, what if they cast someone and he's not as good as Chadwick? I'll take T'Challa.
So?
I'll take that actor T'Challa.
Yeah.
I'll take T'Challa with who's mute. I'll take T'Challa who speaks with hand signs. Give me I'm not really, but I'll take T'Challa. Give me some T'Challa, and
No,
I'll
take a bad accent. I'll take a we got to go to Wakanda for. I'll take that.
Because
over.
what gets accomplished is that the presence of a character will be constant. The fans will say, oh, well, the Spider-Man guy, he keeps happening reboot after reboot and it never stops. And if this character gets treated like that, he must be just as important. And it'll signal that to the fans. You think I'm talking about the black fans? No, not at all. Do you know how beneficial T'Challa is for white people? Do you know how much sympathy and empathy maybe they don't have because there isn't a character of that stature? And there really isn't. And for that familiarization to be given to a kid who grows up going, oh yeah, that T'Challa guy, just as important as a guy like Captain America, just as important as the Hulk, because I see the movies and they treat him just like that. Do you know how mentally that could, like, I don't know, to prevent a bad person from growing up? I was going to name somebody, I won't name anybody, but it can prevent the next kind of like leader of another movement that is anti-black. Do you know how good positive stuff can happen to people who don't look like what T'Challa looks like? Everybody benefits from the T'Challa recast. You can be handicapped, like I mentioned. You could be dyslexic. T-cast T'Challa. I need to stop, bro.
Okay, I'll see you that, and I'll raise you one where I will say more black creatives will get opportunities if there's a strong T'Challa in theater. Think about it. Every time somebody has to pitch something in Hollywood, they have to be like, it's Terminator meets this. It's The Matrix meets this. It's this meets. They always take those popular franchises. It's Alien Attacks from Mars or whatever, or it's Alien meets Riddick or whatever. All of these movies that we see, it's always like mishmashes and people trying to pitch ideas. If there's a strong Black Panther franchise, imagine how many Black actors can go to people who fund movies and be like, it's Black Panther meets this. It's
What's My
Black.
Dad the Bounty Hunter? The Black Panther meets Star Wars?
Yes, exactly. Perfect. And then because every studio is going to want a Black Panther project. Every studio is going to want one. Every studio is going to want something. And that creates more opportunities for everyone across the board. Again, Comic Con Africa didn't exist until 2018.
Or Kizazi Moto?
Or Kizazi Moto, or there's another show. I think I commented.
Iwaju,
No, yeah, Iwaju is what I don't
which
know what happened with that. But Super Team 4 on Netflix, and it's a whole cartoon series about four little girls from Africa who are super spies or whatever. So if you like Powerpuff Girls, you might like that. But
it's
basically,
Powerpuff Girls meets Black Panther.
yes, that's what I'm saying is keeping T'Challa dead serves no one on no level whatsoever outside of this nicety in your heart that you're preserving something that no one asked you to preserve. Hey, Dre Mac. Man, I love Dre Mac. I want to be on that show one day.
I gave him a link to this back when we were prepping this because I know he'd be available. So if he might just have to join us if he's available, if he gets back and he's able to.
Yeah,
Theo,
yeah.
Theo also has
I
a
still
link
got
too.
some time. I still got some time. So if people wanna hop in, I would love to talk to those guys because I mean, this is fun. Like I've been watching you for a while now, so it's cool to chop it up with you, sort of face to face.
Yeah, I got you. So the next big topic that I have prepared, if you guys look at my thumbnail, first was African actors. We conquered that. Capitalizing off of the death. Here's the thing. 3 years of an anniversary passed. There was not a word, not a peep from what I saw, nothing. Last year, when there was a movie to promote, I saw a lot of, Chadwick died. But if we rewind maybe to the first year of the anniversary of his death, I distinctly remember an interview on the red carpet for Shang-Chi. It was about August 28th, was it? So
Are you talking about when people came at seemingly crazy?
no,
No,
I'm
that's
talking
something
about
else. That's something else.
an interview with Kevin Feige on the Shang-Chi red carpet. They go,
Yeah.
yo, it's the 1 year anniversary of Chadwick's death. I know you guys are filming Black Panther. Any comments on how you're going to commemorate it? And Kevin Feige was like, every day on set we honor Chadwick, but there was no announcement or nothing like that. No, nothing until that year that there was a movie. That movie trailer utilized Chadwick Boseman's face. I mean, I know it's T'Challa, but they had his face up. The mural, he's dead. Everyone feels sad. They brought the sad crying. I can't forget the Comic-Con trailer was there. All the entire cast, all 5 of them, or from the prior movie, right? And then there was the new cast of Dominique. It was Riri Williams and all the Talocan people. And you could see a divide because everyone was like in a huddle, all crying at Comic-Con. Like the M'Baku actor, the Nakia actor, all of them were sad. And there's a difference that you could see. Like these guys went to an emotional episode just watching this trailer, and the capitalization off of the death did no favors to the cast. Think about how uncaring and compassionate it was to have the castmates. Hey, recite this line about T'Challa, and talking about how it happened so suddenly, and literally every character had to give their freaking eulogy about
Yeah,
Chadwick
I
Boseman.
mean, just if we get to the plot first, it's a huge plot hole. It is. They don't explain how he died. They just say he did. They just like it. He has the heart shape, or they have technology to heal him. They literally like people got on me so hard when I said, why didn't they just freeze him? Because they have cryogenesis technology. They can just throw T'Challa's body in there, obscure it, and then they can recast for Black Panther 3 if that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Why? But the other thing is, he's still on the merch. T'Challa's still on the merch. He's on the merch everywhere. He's on the merch here in South Africa. Like, it becomes exploitive because you keep trying to make it like we have to in order to commemorate Chadwick, we have to support a franchise. That doesn't make
That
sense.
is literally why it's called Wakanda Forever. Chadwick can die. It's Wakanda Forever that we got to remember, and we'll put it in the title, and then kind of get people in. And yeah, they did drag people in to come see this movie before its theatrical release ended.
No, and I'm saying that it become, but for me, first initially, I was like, all right, fine, I'm not gonna call it exploitive, but at some
I will.
point, yeah, but I'm saying no. Now I'm of the position that it is exploitive because I'm just like, you keep using his image, you keep using, like every time we're supposed to see T'Challa, even in comic book format, or when we see him on a can, or when we see him in an action figure, you're trying to evoke the emotion of Chadwick, and that is exploitive. And if we look at somebody like Bob Iger with the writing strike and everything that's happening in America, people are saying that he's a monster. People are saying that he's this guy who's taking advantage of somebody. So if that's the case, why wouldn't he take advantage of Chadwick passing? If he's this person that you say he is, why wouldn't he exploit that and try to make money off of that and bring people in that way? And if that didn't work, the worst case scenario, which is very likely, is that they can dead this franchise in the water and call it a fluke. They can call Black Panther 1 a fluke. They can call Black Panther 2 or Wakanda Forever a failed experiment and never put any other resources behind it. That's real. We might not even get to T'Challa Jr. because they might want to just cut their losses. It's not above Marvel and Disney to do that.
Absolutely. On the side, I'm messaging Theo. Theo's trying to jump in, so we might see him in a few minutes.
Oh.
Shade to She-Hulk. It was kind of exploitative. Remember, during the Oscar, they kind of promoted it like it was a ceremony for him, and he was going to win an Oscar or a Golden Globe, any of these award shows. I remember him getting the award for his voice acting role, and his wife gave a big speech. Would he have gotten the voice?
I don't mind that. That's fine to me. It's just like, fine, give Chadwick all the posthumous awards you want. Recast T'Challa.
Recast T'Challa. It's that easy. It's that simple. And I think that some of the time that's been passing, the sting from the immediate, he just died, so we got to be sad about it. And how dare you think of recasting this? He was a person. How heartless are you? All that. It's been 3 years. A movie did come out. And now we're like, oh, yo, by the way, the people who wanted T'Challa recast for black representation and all that important stuff, right? But we're still here. World's still really racist. They could do from some benefit from this inspiration. Kind of important to have the best representative be on screen for representation purposes. Okay, it's no longer a sad thing anymore. Yes, there is a superhero named T'Challa, and I just want to offer this. And maybe when the emotions and some of that anger and he died, and they raise their voices or use capital letters to emphasize it. Maybe that's quelled. Maybe how has the time that has passed changed the recast combo?
I mean, like you also commented on one of my early videos during that time. I remember when I made a whole thing about 3 ways to recast T'Challa or whatever. I remember during that time, I was not saying don't talk about it. I was just saying, can we just wait? Like, that was the thing I was saying. I was like, can we just, this is fresh, this is new. Can we not just talk about replacing this guy right now? That's what I was saying at the time. But now that I've had to, because like Chadwick, to me, I became a huge fan of his. I went to go see Get On Up. I went to go, like, I was watching, I watched 42 and all of that stuff because I was like, this guy is T'Challa. I want to know what he is like as an actor. So I watched the interviews. He was an easy guy to love. Like, this vitriol that people have, it's not that I don't understand it. Chadwick was an easy person to love. He just was. Oh, Planet Fanatics, no way.
What's going on, guys?
Is that Darius?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
We hear
you.
Okay.
Oh my God. What's up, man? I've been watching you for a while.
I really appreciate that, bro, and I see everything that you're doing on Twitter too all the time. So it's dope work what you do.
Thank you so much.
Hey, from the background fuzz, it sounds like you're joining us under circumstances you're not supposed to be joining us because you're busy. Or you got the floor, Planet Fanatics, to talk about what you want to talk about here.
Oh, I've just joined to. Well, I mean, I wanted to see what you guys were saying first, and yeah, sorry if it's loud in the back. I'm driving.
You're good.
Yeah, wherever you guys are right now, I'll join in on whatever you guys are saying.
Okay. Well, you're an American, the first American to join the stream today. And how do you feel about the conversation of, well, it's got to be an African actor, it could be an American actor? Don't you feel like we think it's like divisive and it's meaningless? While we do think that, of course, someone native from Africa shouldn't be restricted from applying to the job, and that's one less thing to worry about with the accent and whatnot. While we're for that, we still don't have any hatred towards a guy from South Carolina playing the character or anywhere in the world. We want the character.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think that obviously, one thing that I constantly talk about, and I think we all constantly talk about, is representation and how representation does obviously matter. And having someone of African descent, with the dialect and the accent, and everything like that, that would be great. But that's not. Again, I agree with what you just said. That's not putting the stipulations on somebody else from the States or wherever they may be from to don the role. The point is donning the role. It doesn't matter who it is. It does matter who it is, but it doesn't matter where they're from. What matters is the character continuing on screen, that representation continuing on screen, what the character means continuing on screen, in other forms of media, not just in the MCU. We've seen within the past few months just the treatment of T'Challa in the MCU and outside of the MCU. So I believe that however it needs to get done, it just needs to get done. And having him back on the screen and having him back in the MCU is something that is majorly important.
That's the key. And Chadwick had a warm-up movie as a South African police officer. That may be why his accent sounded good. That was why he did credit it. I saw him in an interview say he had to do like a warm-up movie just to prepare for the role now he'd be doing as T'Challa, which is a great utilization of his time and just another reason to really like him. Talk to Theo. Don't get Theo started on how like epic Chadwick Boseman was and all the quotables and everything he dedicated himself to. Every time I pull up an interview, I'll hear Chadwick Boseman talking about he said he used Dexter, I think, who was like a serial killer. And then he said, but we still look at that character and we look at him as a protagonist. And like, why can't I do that with a black character, even when it's a terrible stereotype? Why can't I go, yeah, he murders, but he sure is funny, or I can still relate to him that way. He had a line like that. I'm butchering it. Okay, the next thing we talked about, Planet Fanatics, was about not the African actor, but now the capitalizing off of the death, the lack of any announcing anything now that it's the 3-year anniversary of Chadwick Boseman's passing. The studio has been silent, but when there was a movie to promote, all of a sudden, we couldn't get his widow out on Good Morning America fast enough. We capitalized the death when it came to the funeral, the way the movie began, even like the ending of the movie. Everything with Wakanda Forever was capitalizing off the man's death and how that was distasteful. That was our kind of talk. Are you there, Planet Fanatics? Let us know how you feel about that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've been extremely vocal on that point as well. As we all know, that 1.3 billion that the first PP film made, Marvel wasn't expecting that. That was completely out of left field for them. Yeah, no one was expecting that, and so they wanted to repeat, obviously, that same lightning in a bottle, for lack of better words, with Wakanda Forever, and it was something that they couldn't do because when they came out and said that they weren't going to recast the character, that automatically took away a massive part of that audience. They gave you that 1.3 billion to begin with. Once you did that, and then we started seeing that they were trying to profit off of his death, by the first 15 minutes of the film being just a replica of his funeral, but for viewers' entertainment, then we saw that, like you said, getting his wife on Good Morning America and having her do the 2020 special that she did and everything like that, but we've heard nothing from her or Marvel promoting or trying to talk to her or anything like that since then. Not only that, we've also seen when it comes to Marvel and everything they're doing for Wakanda Forever and Black Panther, they use T'Challa when it's convenient. Like T'Challa gets put in like that they put something out. Was it Marvel or it might have been one of those Marvel sub outlets or whatever? They were promoting something for like just the MCU. It wasn't for Black Panther, but when they were using Black Panther, they used T'Challa's Black Panther. They don't. They're
Oh, I
rarely
think I know what you're
using.
talking about. I think I know what you're talking about. There was a Lego movie or a Lego movie that's getting promoted or whatever,
That's
and
it.
like
That's it.
T'Challa is like standing on the Hulk's shoulder or
Yeah,
whatever, and I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
know that's T'Challa. Do not cap. Do not lie to me.
yeah. Yeah. It's the images like that when they use T'Challa when it's convenient. Now so I think also too one of the things that Marvel capitalized or tried to capitalize on in that time, like we just said, was everything as far as Chadwick Boseman's death and everything. Um, they didn't say anything unless I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't remember them saying anything on his birthday, posting anything for him. I don't remember them posting anything you know after the movie had come out about Chadwick or anything like it. They only posted about it. They only said anything that they said about it just to drum up sales, to try to drum up the sympathy sales. That's what they wanted people to get in their feelings and be in the heartstrings and pull at the heartstrings like they were trying to do with that morbid funeral that they showed.
And I can tell you here in South Africa, like a lot of people did not go. Like when I went to Comic Con Africa here in Cape Town, I didn't see like one cosplay of anything Black Panther at all, which was crazy different from like the 2019 and the 2018 Comic Con. Like no one here was talking about anything at all. And that was like scary to me because I was like, they use so much South African culture in the movie that I thought we would have been all about it, but nope.
Right. And just even the going to the theater experience wasn't the same. No one was dressed up. I remember I saw Black Panther in the first film in theater 16 times, and every time that I saw it, it was the same experience but a different experience, because you would have thought after seeing it 16 times, weeks after the film, people would stop dressing up, people would stop, nobody's going to have paint on their face or in a mask or anything like that. Even on the 16th time, people were still dressed up. People were still, acting as if the movie had just came out. That was not Wakanda Forever, at all, at all. Not only was that not the experience, my theater wasn't even packed to capacity like a normal Marvel film typically is. So, I mean, no, people weren't feeling that. Nobody wanted to see that.
Spoiler King says, "What's up, chill,
Hey,
Buckmeister,
spoilers.
and Planet Fanatics? Wow! 3 exclamations! The biggest recasters united."
I'm not that big, man. Don't do that. No, I
You
mean,
don't think?
nah, not really. I mean, anyway, what I was saying was in my theater, we literally had chicken. Like nobody had concession stand food. People like brought plates from the house to watch that movie, and I didn't hear the same for Wakanda Forever. That's how big a difference it was culturally.
It was not a cultural hit. Of course, it wasn't going to be a cultural hit. That's just the facts. The difference between the movies, look, the money is what matters the most. I mean, they don't really care about what you ate at the cinema. They saw what one movie made, they saw what another made, and that's that. This is an awesome panel. Thank you for the compliments. Thank you.
Hey, Sapkimoto Kid.
Oh, good point. The Disney cruise, they literally used the death as part of the show. You want T'Challa? Come on our cruise.
That is true. I forgot about the cruise shit. That is very true.
No, I mean, even outside of the cruise, there was also like they were advertising Avengers Compound or something, and I was like, wait, why is T'Challa here front and center on Avengers Compound? Why aren't they using Shuri?
When was it, in November or after
Yeah,
November?
I think no, it was after November. It was like
Okay.
it was after the movie. I know that, but
Okay,
like
then.
they did a whole Avengers advert, and he was like jumping next to Spider-Man or whatever, and I'm just like, so why is it okay to use him on a cruise, but it's not okay to use him in a movie?
So there's
That doesn't make sense.
different branches of Marvel, and that branch was a smart one who goes, "We want to make money here," so boom. It's not like even Star Wars. Planet Fanatics, you know about this. That cruise that they had, which was all sequel oriented, it's going belly under.
Right. No. That thing was dead on arrival. Because here's the thing: when it comes, like, again, what you just said about the T'Challa being on the cruise and things like that, why he was front and center, it goes back to that conversation of using T'Challa when it suits them, when it's convenient, when it lines their pockets. They use T'Challa because they know that T'Challa is the Black Panther franchise. When you take away the main character, you've taken away the franchise. I don't care how you spin it or flip it. When you take away the main character, you take away the franchise. So they know, in order to put money in our pockets when it comes to Black Panther, if T'Challa's not front and center, we're not going to make money. That was proven with Wakanda Forever.
It's about
so that's why he's front and center. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Is about to be proven with the video game? Are you going to buy a T'Challa-less video game?
Hell no.
No. Like, nobody wants to do, like, that's what I'm saying. Unless T'Challa's involved, no.
And we're
I'm not even thinking
early
about buying that other one, like that one with the Cap and Azuri. I don't even think I'm gonna buy that one. Like,
and this game is in development, and at an early stage, people like me are saying, "Hey, cut it out! Like, we shouldn't be doing a video game without T'Challa." I have a video about it. There's even like a little petition about it from Majin Khan.
Dre Mac, yeah, Dre Mac.
Wrong button. Yeah, it was Dre Mac who put it out. Majin Khan had a little article on what's it, Fandom Wire, wherever he posted it. I forget where. There's people giving words about it. Now, when Chadwick Boseman initially died, that's in August. Chillmonger didn't do a video about rest in peace Chadwick, nothing like that. Sensitive topic. I don't really talk about death, okay? It wasn't until November, 3 months later, where I came on here, and it wasn't to talk about Chadwick, because again, I'm not a death guy. That's not what my content should be driven on. I was talking about, of course he needs to be recast. I hate looking online and seeing people say these things like he shouldn't happen. I'm saying the character is important. I did a video like that. Like, shoot, a week, 2 weeks before Kevin Feige's big announcement that said that you weren't going to recast, and I have it ready to play it right now.
His portrayal of T'Challa, the Black Panther, is iconic and transcends any iteration of the character in any other medium from Marvel's past. And it's for that reason that we will not recast the character.
I recall John Campea. This is not a shot at John Campea. John, if you're watching, I don't mean to hate on you or nothing, but I remember hearing you say, "Where was the recast people before? Where are they speaking up now?" And to me, I would say that look at your eyes get all buggy and open. You're like, what did he just say? Look, I'm just saying, I didn't know they wouldn't recast until December 12th when that video happened.
Nobody knew.
I thought they'd do the sensible thing. I was just like, emotions are running high, and people online are saying Chadwick is the only T'Challa. How could you? It would be disrespectful to recast. And I was like, that's just emotional people. In 30 days, they'll be emotional about something else, right? That's just the nature of people. I didn't care much about talking about this topic. I did my video in November. Oh, I guess they're not recasting. E-Man's movie reviews began the petition, began like the recast T'Challa actual hashtag, where I got really familiar with Buckmeister Cool. I learned about Planet Fanatics and everyone under that hashtag, which is something that I would check out and read and see and everything. And it's kind of formed a community of positivity to where, I wish we got on it early. I wish we were as early on this recast thing and as heavy and as hard as it looks like we are with the video game stuff, where we're making it quite clear from the beginning and illustrating our points on many YouTube videos and many tweets as well. We're doing the most what we can possibly do on social media. I don't know what the presence is on Reddit. Maybe we need to amp that up, because I know the video game world goes hard there, but we're doing a lot early because we see what just happened with the movies, and we just don't want them to go down a 3-year path. Because again, they're early in development. I just don't want them to go 3 years thinking this will be a great idea. You can play as a Black Panther with, T'Challa can die. And I'm like, no, don't dilute the brand by introducing yet another person who dons that mantle. That's really
dilute the brand, dilute the stories, just dilute the villains, everything. It ruins everything if it's not T'Challa. Like,
right.
I'm sorry, I have two things. One thing, the first thing I'm going to say on the John thing, John, when he speaks sometimes, he doesn't speak with a lot of common sense. And the reason I say that is because none of us, the reason we're going so hard on the video game is because, like you said, we know in advance. We've already been burned. We've touched fire once. We don't need to touch it twice to know that it's hot. So whenever before Marvel came out with the video that you just showed of Kevin Feige, of course the recast crowd wasn't going hard at first, because we didn't know. We didn't know that they weren't going to recast him. And at that time of Chadwick Boseman's death, we were mourning as well. That's the thing that people like to think that the recast crowd is heartless, that the recast crowd wasn't Chadwick Boseman fans. I would argue some of us in the recast crowd were fans of Chadwick Boseman before any of you anti-recasters were fan of Chadwick Boseman. So there's no way that we would have tried to do a hashtag recast T'Challa before Marvel came out and said what they were going to say or said what they said, because we did not know. We didn't know. That's the difference in the movie, in the video game. We know the bullshit y'all are trying to pull. We've already played that game, and we're not willing to play it again with you. So that's why the recast crowd is going so hard this time. The second thing that I wanted to say on the video game and having just playing as a Black Panther, they would never disrespect Spider-Man that way.
Nope.
They would never disrespect Iron Man that way or any of the others. That's why you're getting to play as Iron Man. That's why you get to play as Logan. That's why you get to play as Spider-Man. But when it comes to Black Panther, you're just going to play as some random fucking Wakandan, excuse my language, some random Wakandan in a Black Panther suit. And that, to me, that's it. No,
some random Wakandan that you make. It's not even they're a character. You make them. Like you're gonna custom build them like it's NBA 2K or something. What are we talking about?
But that sounds like a video game thing. Like you cited 2K. I've played games like Fable. I've played a lot of games you can customize your character. Hey man, in the Spider-Man video games, you can also customize his suit to look like a whole lot of things, and it's still Spider-Man. And I feel like we can't forget that. You got to cement the character. Like T'Challa should be a draw. It should be a catch. It should be I get to be T'Challa for 40 minutes of gameplay. That's an epic. That's how we should feel about it.
Yeah, and that's the exact same way that people felt with T'Challa's introduction in the MCU with Civil War. I don't care. Civil War it's a good movie. It's great. It's a great movie. I love the film. I love the fight between Cap and Iron Man. But we're not going to sit here and pretend like T'Challa did not make a major part of that film what it was. His introduction, his entrance, everything about him in that film. We're not going to sit and pretend that he wasn't a major player in that. So, like, to say that, to say that you're just going to play like Buckmeister said, you're just basically two-can this BP game. It's just disrespectful to me. It is, because you would never do. They don't do that with any of the others.
Let them do that with a Batman game. The closest we got was Gotham Knights. And that was even bigging up Batman in a sense, because they were saying it took 4 people to do one man's job.
Can you imagine if you can change the skin tone of the Black Panther in this new game? Because it's customizable. Hey, customize it. Make him a little lighter. Everyone's Panther. You know what I mean?
You know that fan art that like rolling around. People want to do that so bad to Chad.
I think what Deshaun just mentioned right now about the time sensitivity of how, at the time we were too sad thinking about Chadwick. We weren't equating the character with the role, and it was just too soon to be even thinking about recasting and things like that. Theo, I see you. Theo Butler's now you left. Theo, get your camera situated, but it said you're not connected. Back to everyone else. Sorry guys. The point I was just trying to say was just that, the sensitivity of it from people who actually have hearts. We didn't think about doing recast videos early because there was no need to. Spoiler King now he asks, where's your comment? You said something about when did E-Man start the petition? Didn't he start before the Feige announcement?
No.
To my knowledge, it was April.
He started it after. So what happened is that nobody knew what was going on. Then Kevin Feige came out and said they will not recast. Then E-Man did a deep dive. Then he saw the Roland Martin video, and then he started the petition. Like, people think that we started this thing from jump. No, I found E-Man through the petition after Kevin Feige's announcement, because there was a bunch of us online who felt kind of aimless. We were like, what are we going to do here? We can't just let the character go. We can't just let Kevin Feige bury this character. It doesn't make sense. And that's when we found the petition. And that's when I found all of you guys. So in a weird way, unfortunately, RIP to Chadwick Boseman, but like, this community's been really dope.
Yeah. Hey, look, I'm on the Recast T'Challa page. Let me share it in a second. And you can see that it says the date on it on April. Is it shared yet? There it is. It's got the date April 5 over here. There. That's when this petition began, and that's the first time I've seen the hashtag. It's not like I didn't believe before April 5 that T'Challa should have been recast. You can see a video of mine prior to that, but that's if you're asking when, that's when it was. Using our desperation for representation to manipulation of our monetization. Yeah, that's right. LOL. That's the
Yeah.
best lower third. Yeah, when I said super.
Yeah, like I mean, that's the thing people need to understand with this thing is that like we've been here. This isn't like it. This isn't like it. You know, we just started out of nowhere. It took time to get to where we are, and we thought about this longer than Nate Moore. And then when they said they had a 5-minute conversation or whatever,
And he said that like it was something that we should be commending him for. What? You're so noble that you didn't even give this 5 minutes of thought? What a terrific, what an outstanding man you are. When really, nah, bro, this was a big decision. This was a $500 million costing decision, as well as a lack of inspiration and an emotional decision that they made under duress. I'm not as anti Nate Moore and Ryan Coogler as some of my friends here are, particularly. Have you softened your Blow Planet fanatics, your opinion?
I have not. I still, I do not care for Nate Moore. I do not care for Ryan Coogler. I want them both to stay as far away from the Black Panther franchise and black characters in Marvel as possible. You know, it still does not sit well with me in my stomach when Nate Moore, and not that I'm a big, not that I'm a big, why am I blanking here? Sam Wilson fan, like, or anything like that, and definitely not a big
War Machine
Anthony Mackie fan. But my thing is when it didn't sit well with me when Nate Moore said, "Oh yeah, Captain America 4 is going to be a struggle story for Sam." Well, of course it is, because when it comes to black folks in the MCU, it has to be a struggle story for y'all. Like,
he can't just punch an alien. He can't just punch an alien. Like Captain America took a punch from Thanos in the face. What are we talking about? And he survived. Like his face should have been caved in.
Play as T'Challa needs to trend.
And he had the Infinity Gauntlet when Thanos punched him. What?
No, I'm with you. I think play as T'Challa needs to trend. I would advise uniting. So maybe on Twitter, the next kind of development or update there is in the video game, we can all DM each other in a group and say, hey, everyone should tweet about play as T'Challa. And if we all did it together, it would get trending and people would go, oh, what's this all about? I could have an accompanying video or a TikTok or one of those shorts. Again, that's kind of how I started this, Buckmeister, when we were talking offline about how we do need to concentrate and make the launch of a tweet gain traction early. So if you have something that you ever want to tweet and you think, no, this is the one, chill, DM me like 10 minutes before and be like, hey, get on Twitter because I'm about to retweet this thing. You ready? Yeah, ready. Boom. And then you'll tweet it. I'll retweet it. And then maybe like the early gain that the tweet would get will push it further. But like with play as T'Challa, maybe something, not just maybe, for sure, something does need to happen with this where we all kind of coordinate, hey, on September 3rd at 8 p.m. our time, that's Pacific, that'll be at 5, like we should all be like, let's schedule.
I'm down.
We should do that. So I'll let you guys know when. Kill Peter to make way for Miles, like in the Ultimate comic run. Do that in the game and people will riot.
I tell you what, you do that, they're going to burn Marvel Studios down.
No, they almost did for the comic book. People forget that when the Ultimate line launched, there was a big controversy. That's the only, like, Miles is known because of that controversy. Like, if people just... Oh, sorry, go ahead, man.
No, I'm sorry to even cut you off. Comic book fans, we as comic book fans know that. These normal MCU viewers, that's why when they come in so hot on the T'Challa conversation, when they're like, oh, it's not that deep, it's not that. But these are the same people that were shedding tears when Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield came on screen, but it's not that deep, but I digress. These are the same people saying that. It's not that deep, it's this or that, or blah, blah, blah. We as comic book fans know what happened with Miles and Peter. But those that are not comic book fans like that are just regular, normal MCU viewers, they don't know that. So then if you kill Pete, if you try to tell a normal person that's just watching MCU films, they're going to kill Peter off. They're like, well, you can't kill Peter off. He's about da, 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 da. Then they come in with the same arguments we come in with T'Challa. But then remember, it's not that deep.
One last point about Miles before we introduce Theo. The first video game that Insomniac made was called Spider-Man. Okay, they did a Miles Morales game, and the next game that's the third one that Insomniac is doing. It's called Spider-Man 2. Let's not pretend like they're putting respect on Miles, and let's not pretending like the second game that Insomniac did was Miles Morales 2. That was a reskin. That was we already got the map. We can make a little bit more money here with the Miles character. Because if that were the case, then Miles Morales was the second Spider-Man game. And this is different than recast T'Challa conversation. Let me just scrap that. Let's dead that conversation. Theo, what's up? What's good? What's popping? What's cracking? What's percolating? What's really good in the hood?
Man, listen, we survived this hurricane.
Hey, I saw the news. Y'all are making international news. I was like, yo, I hope Unc is good.
Listen,
Theo, are you in Atlanta?
I'm in Florida. We got the shooting in Jacksonville on Saturday. Then we got the hurricane a few days later. So.
I'm praying for everybody, man. I hope you guys are safe.
Oh yeah, definitely appreciate the prayers and everything.
It says here, concentrate and mobilize forces. Don't do like the petition starter and Kate. Oh, I'm not. Come on, okay.
Let's not do that. Come on.
I started reading before. I don't want to put down anybody. That's just not my intention. And you guys watch enough of my YouTube videos. You know how my mentality is with mentioning other YouTubers. Yeah. Oh, we got Draymac. We got another YouTuber. Draymac, how are you doing today on this fine what day is it right now where you are? It's Thursday, isn't it? It's Thursday morning.
What's going on, y'all? I'm literally just getting in the house for dropping our kids off at school. So everything is all good, man. I'm listening to the conversation. Theo, what's going on? I'm finally get a chance to get you, Buckmeister, in here. You know what I mean? So what is going on, man? But yeah, just getting this. Let's get this thing cracking, man. I'm just now getting my day started.
Okay, Theo, you mentioned about the shooting in Jacksonville. You mentioned the strife. The main topic that we're bringing up here is just the African divide, the American divide, the struggle. Does it matter at all if the actor is of an African descent, or if is of an American background? Does it matter where the actor comes from who plays T'Challa when they recast?
I have my take on it. Short answer is no.
Is the long answer hell no?
Yeah, because watch this. Did anybody have a problem with Idris Elba playing an American drug dealer?
I try not to. I don't care about things like that.
Exactly.
Or John Boyega.
The people who, when Buckmeister made his statement, the people that went for his throat, they never had a problem with somebody that was a non-Black American playing a role that's typically for a Black American. The guy that was in Snowfall. Everybody complain about him. He's not from here. As y'all mentioned earlier, I heard y'all mention Daniel Kaluuya. Daniel Kaluuya played Fred Hampton. Now, you want to talk about somebody should have said something? If there was a time that an African-American was going to be opposed to a non-African playing a role, that would have been it. Nobody said anything.
Theo,
so
let me ask
you thing now.
Theo, let me ask you. I know you remember this. Remember when the South African actor or the Nigerian actor played Martin Luther King in Selma? Well, there was an outcry, and I think it was just a media outcry. Yeah, I'm gonna say this because it wasn't like it was online. It was a media outcry where people was like, "Why would you get someone that is African that's playing Martin Luther King? Martin Luther King is so important." Just media outcry. But then you look at it, and then you look at it honestly, and then we cry how we're African. Oh man, I'm African. Then what does that matter that this guy played Martin Luther King?
Did anybody have an issue, any African American, when Morgan Freeman played somebody?
No,
because Morgan Freeman played somebody that wasn't African American.
Exactly.
It's non-issue. It's such a divisive thing to bring up when we start getting into the.
Denzel killed it as Steve Biko, and South Africans were really upset about that, but we got over it.
It was what I told
my stance on that is you get the best person for the job. I mean, can they act? Can they do what needs to be done on screen? Do they give the presence of that character or whoever they're supposed to be portraying? If they check all of those boxes, to me, I don't have an issue with things like that. I don't, because like even with Selma, brother did a hell of a job.
Amazing. I mean, Don Cheadle played in it's just Hotel Rwanda. This is the reason why he's getting roles. He started getting more serious roles after Hotel Rwanda. People forget that. You know what I'm saying? How amazing John Cheadle was in that movie. Nobody gave a crap. You know what I mean? That's just the media. We got to get out of what the media and what somebody throw on Twitter to put that divide against us. Nobody gives a crap. We want the best guy for the job.
To y'all point, and I'm gonna piggyback with Chill because I like how Chill likes. I don't even want to touch certain stuff the way he does it. He just cut it off. This is such a non-issue to me. They did that with Buckmeister just not to address the points, the talking points on the table.
Exactly.
So honestly, us even talking about it right now is like giving it too much energy because it's not about the topic. They never addressed his point. Every time he puts a picture out there, people always have something to say, and they never address the points on the table. It's always a deflection over here. That's all that was. And the people that came for your throat, brother, I'm apologize on behalf of African Americans. They knew damn good and well they was full of it when they said it. So no, it ain't even worth talking about.
Yeah, you beat me to the point. I was actually going to say that because every single time that we have something like that happens on Twitter or whether it be in YouTube comments or anything like that, I think somebody reposted the video of Chadwick, the black and white video of Chadwick talking about why he feels as if the baton should be passed down and why it shouldn't stop with him, X, Y, and Z. Every single time that video is shared, anti-recasters are nowhere to be found because they watch that video and they see, I don't have a rebuttal to this. I don't have but hashtag this or whatever, because that's from the horse's mouth. That's from the man that y'all are claiming we're disrespecting.
That's why I say, Buck, man, just keep doing what you do. You
exactly.
You don't have to go back and forth with them. The sad part about it is this. They can say that they're Black Panther fans, but you've done more to keep the character front and center than they have.
Exactly.
They can say that they're Chadwick Boseman fans, but in you steadily showing digital photos of T'Challa, you keep reminding people that Chadwick Boseman did play this person,
exactly.
So even in that, you keep Chadwick Boseman front and center in ways in which they don't care to, ain't got the time to, ain't trying to. So man, keep doing what you do.
Hey, Buckmaster, I mean, since I've been back on Twitter, because I wasn't really on Twitter until I really started amping up my YouTube channel as far as the content that I'm using. Buckmaster, man, keep doing what you're doing, bro. Just keep doing what
I'm
you're
not
doing.
gonna keep doing it. I'm leaving the stream. I don't know where he went.
he said all these compliments, I'm out. Batman this.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Oh man, what did we talk about else? Because you guys just joined in right now. We talked about the African thing, then we talked about capitalizing off of death, and that's a big point. Capitalizing off of Chadwick Boseman's death. What it did happen. When was your breaking point? Let's start with Theo. You were first. When did you realize they are capitalizing death?
When I saw Derek Boseman's video not getting any airplay. When I saw people that claim to be close to the actor not even mention the brother, I found that odd. When I realized that media, broadcast media, our media, popular media, was not giving that video any traction whatsoever, I said, okay, I see what's going on now. don't worry
they did that on purpose.
Yeah, I like them. It's impossible for only one channel to talk about that interview. That interview was monumental. Nobody ever referenced that interview. Nobody. That's not possible unless it's delivered. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but that was the breaking point for me.
Dre, the capitalizing off of death. Talk about that some more.
It was, I mean, my breaking point was watching the first trailer, and it already cemented what I already thought. And me and E-Man was communicating at that time about that, and I felt like that was probably one of the most disrespectful things that you could do, because I've never, in my some odd years of being on this earth, I've never seen death celebrated on screen. I didn't see that with the Fast franchise. I didn't see that with the Harry Potter franchise, because a character, there was a main portion of the story died in the Harry Potter I didn't see that. I didn't see that with
Oh,
Heath
you're right.
Ledger. I didn't see that with Heath Ledger. And I know you brought up, this is the 3rd year of Chadwick's death. Well, if Heath Ledger died, 5 years later, Jared Leto took over that character in another Batman franchise, and nobody blinked an eye.
Or Harry Potter had
Or
Albus
Harry, yeah, the Dumbledore, the Dumbledore character. So I think that's what it was. And then going to the movies to go see that. I have not watched that movie since I went to the movie theater, the initial, because I did a review on it. I can't watch that. This is, dude. It's the simple fact is that we in the Black community, we always talk about it, especially here. We always talk about portraying death, especially Black male death. It's like you can't escape it. And for Ryan Coogler to just exploit that for personal and financial gain is wrong and morbid, and I don't want anything to do with that. Just
because that's the thing. They planned it. When Carrie Fisher died, the movie was already filmed. When Ray Stevenson died, the show was already filmed, and they had a little. This is for our friend Ray. If you watch the end of Ahsoka, the terrific show, right, DeAndre? Is the greatest show ever.
No, Ahsoka's the show is great. Ahsoka the character, oh boy.
But is that Rosario Dawson playing her?
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. I was like, okay, I see. Okay.
When it comes to the show, the actor dies and we dedicate, that's one thing, right? But when it comes to let's make the plot of the movie the death. What did you think would happen with the advertisers? Because it's a different person who creates the trailer. It's not it's not Ryan Coogler. What did you think would happen? From inception, the death of Chadwick Boseman was the marketing strategy. And I can't give them. I don't know. I mean, the moment I saw the trailer too, I flipped out. I don't know what you guys were thinking. Planet Fanatics, if you're back, what were you thinking when you saw the trailer for initially and the exploitation of the death? He's not back.
No, I'm back. When I first saw the trailer, I mean, I know for me, emotional. Very emotional, especially when Angela Bassett, the music quiets and Angela Bassett says the line. Very emotional. I thought too, just honestly, really just that. I'm trying to take myself back to the trailer. All I can remember is just my emotion for just hearing I am queen of the most powerful nation in the world, and my entire family is gone. That for me was the center of the entire trailer.
Yeah, I got you.
Sorry about that, gents. My internet just cut out real quick.
How much time do you got left?
I gotta head out, so I'm. I gotta head out like in the next 5 minutes, so I guess I'm just gonna end on this. It's really cool to link up with all of y'all in this because I've been following a lot of you guys for a very long time, and I've been wanting to jump on something like this. I hope to get to do this again. And just for anybody who wants to misconstrue what I said, I don't care who plays T'Challa. I just wanted African people to apply like any other actor. And if they win, they win. If they don't, they don't. But as long as the character gets back, dope. Don't care.
Yeah. Exactly.
Can you turn your camera and could Planet Fanatics turn your camera just so I can screenshot all 5 of us smiling on panel together?
Oh, okay. Cool.
You're saying go Ahsoka.
Well, let's see. Yeah, full screen. Let me get the screenshot ready. Got it.
Let me get on the light. Thank you guys so much. This was so much fun, but I gotta head out.
Hey, Buckmaster, take it easy, man. Hey, keep doing God's work, bro.
Absolutely. You know one of the things.
It's never gonna stop. Never. It's never. Like never.
I did it. Can't stop, won't stop. You know, Chillmonger, one of the things that you talk about, and it's we talk about it, but anti-recasters glaze past it. The perfect side-by-side comparison really is Paul Walker.
Yep.
That's the best side by side comparison. People don't want to do it. That the man passed away during filming.
In a car, tragically.
He passed away damn near like if he would have passed away in the movie, like, and God did that.
Exactly.
So, they have the funeral. The cast attends a funeral. They shut down filming. It's not like they haven't started filming. No, they've started filming. They shut it down. Shut it down. Grieved. In the midst of filming, not before filming, not months before filming. No, they grieved in the midst of filming.
Yep.
They did that and had enough respect to adjust the script because Paul Walker's, if he had Mia, somebody had Nakia. He had a son, somebody else had a son. They had enough respect in a cast that was diverse.
Yep.
They had enough respect for that character to send that character home. Now, I want to ask the question because I can ask this question to the anti-recasters. I can ask this question to the recasters. I'm going to go ahead and admit I'm a bag full of water. Who else didn't tear up at the end of that damn movie?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Who didn't look at Vin Diesel looking over at that dude, knowing damn good well that wasn't Paul Walker. That was his brother. When them cars went like that, tell me you didn't tear the hell up.
Yeah.
But you did the same damn thing in Black Panther 2.
Exactly. And the character's still alive.
Wants to touch that. They want to be assholes. They want to be smart Alex. They want to be trolls. We grown men and women. If all you got is to troll, you're a sad ass individual, knowing damn good and well what I just said was the truth.
Yep.
Exactly.
I do have a question. I wanted to ask this on Twitter, but I didn't. I was gonna ask it on my channel. I think I still am once I get back out there. But to you guys, with the talks, the rumor talks, this hasn't been announced by Marvel themselves. After Secret Wars, a soft reboot. Where do our minds go there? Now, for me, I don't know. I don't know. Let me hit you guys' answers first. What do you guys think? Do you think that means that there is now hope? Do you think that means that they possibly recast, or where are we at?
I think that I just don't want them to be misguided and believe that the T'Child is a viable recast. And I don't know if I'm doing enough of a job of saying, hey, no T'Child, no nothing. But your question is about the reboot. I think if we're doing enough job of saying the T'Child is not the answer, I think the reboot will result in a T'Challa recast, and it's one of the things that will fix their issues. So another issue is that the Wolverine that they're using is Hugh Jackman, and he's not going to be the long-term Wolverine. So a reboot would introduce new X-Men, right? And a younger Wolverine and a new cast. It would give them a reason to have another Iron Man back, and it won't be Robert Downey Jr., who's really expensive. They'll hire a nobody, and so the reboot solves many problems. And so I think that also the new T'Challa. Okay, you're just asking if I'm hopeful. I'm not hopeful. I'm not optimistic. I can see the possibility, but I don't think that we've done enough to make them change their minds. Some of us need to reach them.
No, and I agree with you. I agree with you. I don't think that I'm not optimistic about it, either. I don't think just because they're doing a soft reboot, as I've said many times, when it comes to either a soft reboot, a full reboot, or whatever it is they want to call it, they have dug the hole. They've dug the hole Marvel's not gonna backtrack and say, oh well, we were wrong and you guys were right. They've already put T'Child in place. They've already showed you in the post-credit scene. We hear you. Yeah, that's fine. I get it. Yeah, hashtag recast T'Challa. This is your recast. This is your recast. We are going to take this child. We're going to take T'Challa's comic stories. We're going to integrate the two, and that is your recast. And I think even with the soft reboot, because from what My Time to Shine Hello said, some characters are getting recast, others are remaining the same. I don't believe T'Challa gets recast because they've already got their T'Challa.
I believe if there was a stronger rejection to the T'Child, then we'd be in better place. But there's not a strong. There's child acceptors and sympathizers.
Yeah, I think because it's a kid. I think
the education place where the education piece comes in. I think that's where the constant illumination, the constant sharing of knowledge comes in, because I've seen it. I think we've all seen it. The more people that become aware, the more people are like, well, no, I want T'Challa. I can understand everybody's perspective on it. I look at it like this because, and this is, like I said, this is my opinion. I could be wrong. They were so excited. Marvel was, Kevin Feige was, Nate Moore, Ryan Coogler, heading into Black Panther 2. Oh, Nate Moore is going to be, I'm going to say Ryan Coogler is going to be over Secret Wars. I'm going to say, Secret War. He's going to be over there. Oh, we're getting ready to launch a whole bunch of Wakandan-inspired Disney Plus shows. And they put that movie out. They didn't get the reaction that they necessarily thought. I don't believe, because I had quite a few people that went to go see the movie come back and tell me, man, you were right. I don't really feel that movie. Quite a few men went to go see the movie, were dejected. I did have some women go see the movie and was like, what happened to all the men and everything like that?
Mm-hmm.
We don't talk about it enough, and I think it's because of how we feel. But we low-key quieted all of that excitement that they had. We did. And when I say we, I'm not talking about just us, but those who said we want T'Challa, because you don't hear about that Ryan Coogler-led movie anymore. We read where they said the Wakandan projects, they off the table. They don't even talk about them anymore. That's because you don't know how to gauge our reaction. You thought you had money on the table in Black Panther 2. Now you're not sure. So if I had to say anything, give any words of encouragement to myself, y'all keep doing what we're doing. Am I optimistic that they will recast T'Challa? No. Do I think that they will put T'Challa in play? Well, they know that's not an exciting move. Fans have made it known that's not an exciting move. You can try it, you can do it. Not gonna make no money off of it though, because the fans have spoken. So my thing is just keep doing what we're doing. Do more. Keep the education process going out there. Teamwork make the dream work. The more people know about Black Panther, the legacy of that character, the less people will be inclined to want to see anything with a child in.
The harder we go, the louder our voice, the more we don't ease off, and the more aggressive we get while being respectful, the more progress possibly can happen, the more benefit can happen. And I don't believe asking, and I think request T'Challa is over.
Yeah. And to answer the question from my side, I mean, technically in the Secret Wars comic book, they did do a reboot of that universe. They integrated some things from the Ultimate Universe, brought into the main 616, yada yada yada. And I can honestly see them doing, let's say, T'Challa, right? But in his universe, he was the main T'Challa. So if they say, well, we're bringing this T'Challa over from this universe that was a T'Challa, you know what I'm saying, T'Challa Jr. or whatever, that's the only way I can see them aging them up. Because if you're going to destroy the universe, you're not going to age this kid up. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to age up in 15 years when you're destroying the universe in 4. So, you know what I mean? So the only way that they could do it is bring another T'Challa from another universe if they're going to do that. And I was always saying that if your whole idea was to have T'Challa and T'Child anyway, because that was a plan. You know what I'm saying? That Ryan put down on paper, which is idiotic, but whatever. If you're going to do that, you can still have another T'Challa from another universe raise that child. You know what I'm saying? We've seen this with Miguel O'Hara, you know what I'm saying, in the Across the Spider-Verse. This was his whole initial plan. He lost his child in his universe, went to another universe, tried to play daddy. He ended up destroying the universe with that. You know what I mean? But now you can be able to do that because now we're rebooting this whole thing. So there's ways you could do it. I don't like it regardless, but if you're going to do it, you bring them from another universe, you know what I mean? Or just reboot the whole entire thing. This guy is now T'Challa and start all the way over again. Yep, tear it down and build it back up.
How successful is your universe without an Iron Man, Captain America, Thor in it? Like, let's just be clear. I mean, and we like T'Challa and everything like that, but you got to bring them characters back. Nobody's buying these secondary. We're comic book fans. We do drive them numbers. They make these movies for the casual fan. Nobody's buying who you got right now as the main core heroes.
Yeah.
No.
Nobody.
Not even selling it.
No.
No, you can't sell the merch. I don't give a damn if you are giving me a free comic book when I come in there. I don't want that damn comic book. You know why? Because I'm a comic book fan. This don't make no damn sense to me. So
you have a powerless Captain America, a great value Black Panther. The only one that I say can hold their own in that trio is Shang-Chi.
Yep.
If we're talking MCU, the version that they've given us, that's the only one out of those three.
And they ain't built him up. Where's his backstory at? Like, dude been in one movie, and that was the greatest thing about phases 1, 2, and 3. We saw these characters, even if it was just for a minute, show up in somebody else's
stuff.
To connect the universe.
Yeah.
I like Wong, but is Wong finna be an Avenger?
I don't know. Wakanda suddenly.
I'm being rhetorical, but I'm like, bro, you not no damn Avenger. You don't even look like a dude in the damn comics. Like, let's stop playing like this. Like, reboot the whole damn universe. Bring Steve Rogers back. Bring Tony Stark back. Do what you want to do with Chris Hemsworth. If he want to be Thor Odin's son, I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? Give me a new Warriors. Bring them in too. Come on. Fantastic Four. I need that. Give me the first 5 of the X-Men. Let me get the first 5.
Yeah.
You do anything else,
yeah.
Let me get the first 5. You ain't got to keep them long, but tear down this BS. It didn't fail. Fans have shown you that. Reboot the whole damn universe. T'Challa, no, everybody that was a part of that, the previous MCU, they all going away. Letitia Wright, thank you for coming out. God bless you. Good night. Danielle Guerrero, we may or may not holler at you. We just got to see what you might say. Just redo the whole damn thing. That I'm with you. I'm with you on that. That would make sense from a storytelling standpoint.
Hey, there's other MCU projects that are happening, including ones with Kang the Conqueror. Myself and Dramac are going to end this stream and come and join his stream just to talk about Jonathan Majors. When do you want to begin that?
Yeah, I'm about to go ahead. It starts at 9:30. So, or 9:30 my time, Central Time, 10:30.
7 minutes from now.
Yeah, 7 minutes from now, Eastern Time.
So that's how much longer we'll go right now. We'll go 7 minutes just reading your guys' comments. And Planet Fanatics and Theo, I hope you're still with me for 7 minutes, and we'll react to some of those. And then
Can I say something really quick, Chill?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
To what we were saying about Secret Wars, I do believe, and this is I've said this on my show as well. I do believe T'Challa will be in Secret Wars because it'll be a different universe. Yeah, because it's gonna play on that 1, money, 2, nostalgia, 3, the heartstrings. Because what's gonna end up happening is they're probably gonna have Shuri from our universe see him, and it's gonna be a huge emotional thing, and
like the boat, trip.
Yeah. Oh my God, my brother, and da 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 da. But you look like my brother, but you're not. You know, all that shit. It's gonna be all that. But it's gonna be, for me. This is just my opinion. You know, obviously I could be wrong. I'm not in the writers' rooms at Marvel. I think it's gonna be for a fleeting moment. It's just going to be for that film. It's just like, okay, here he is. Y'all happy? You good? We done with this hashtag? He's gone. All right.
Let me ask you.
Still the way I think they're going.
Okay, so Darius, let me ask you this question. Do you think, remember the whole Jonathan Majors, I'm about to get into this here in a couple minutes, but remember when Desmond Idris was a big hot thing to replace Jonathan Majors?
Yes.
Do you think they talked to him, not about playing Kang, about playing T'Challa, because his name came out the blue?
Quite possibly so. If in this little soft reboot they do a thing where, you know, maybe they do, or if they did do a whole massive reboot, just trashed it all and everybody's new, possibly so. Because if we take ourselves back to the conversation Damson, I forget sister's name, the interview he had with her, when she asked him, you know, your name's been thrown around a lot for the recast of T'Challa, and he gave the brilliant answer that he gave.
Exactly.
Possibly. It's quite possible that they might have spoken to him about that.
Because the whole big thing, you know, during the whole Jonathan Majors thing was, oh, this person, that person. But I can give Warren the props when he said, oh, there's confirmation, you know, that they have talked to Desmond Idris off of the success of Snowfall. because Snowfall, the ending of Snowfall was incredible. I never watched the show. Not really a big fan of that era because I grew up in that era. So I mean, but as far as the questions that was asked, and because you don't ask, nobody else got those questions about T'Challa like he did. So I was like, it clicked in my mind. I was like, wait a minute, hold up. It's not about Jonathan Majors, and we're going to get into how Jonathan Majors is innocent and all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying in my stream. But what stuck out is that the questions in the way that they, because nobody's expecting that, you know, because she'll play the video. We're not going to recast T'Challa in the MCU. Yeah, right. Because they know where the money resides. You know what I mean? So let's stop playing. Let's stop playing. Theo, you brought up the merch. How many times have you went to Walmart, you went to Target, and they still got Wakanda Forever toys and crap?
Still right up there with the Eternals toys.
Exactly. This is $7.
I try to tell people, it's like, unless you touch these IPs and all facets, you really don't know. You can't really get a good gist. I can walk into Target right now, all three of them where I live at. Walk down the girl's action figure aisle, and them 12-inch Shuri, Okoye, and Nakia, they sitting right there.
Sitting there.
You go over to the boys' side. Oh, you're gonna find you a whole bunch. You know what you won't find? You won't find the Black Panther action figure that they didn't want to list as T'Challa. And you won't find Hatu Zaraze that didn't show up in either movie. Those two action figures, they're not in the toy stores.
But you will find a Okoye on clearance for $3.
Exactly. And Theo, just before I go, they did repackage Killmonger and
yes, they did.
Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, because I rebought it. You know what I'm saying? That they repackaged that and resold it under their Legacy Collection line, and it's sold out. It's hard to find.
I got
it. Yep, I got it.
4 different versions. Well, no, that's a lot. If I say how many versions of T'Challa I got, I'm gonna be lying. So I'm not gonna do that.
Guys, it's like they know. It's like the time that's passed since the decision till now. The money that they.
Sorry.
And everything. There's proof. There's evidence of it statistically. It's just a matter of will they admit that they're wrong. And no, Planet Fanatics, I don't see that happening either. Where they go, we are wrong, and we gotta. It's hard. It's hard. So maybe through a reboot. Oh well, everyone's getting recast. That's why. Or you know, there's different ways that they could do it. I don't want to see a multiversal version. I mean, maybe I would settle for it at first.
I don't.
I was iffy on it. Today I'm just recast or don't recast. Recast is the best way to do it. I don't want to dilute the brand. I just act, and look, the character died, but this is the science fiction genre. People die all the time. There's really no reason why we can't get it except stubbornness.
If you jump over to Star Wars. Look at Star Wars right now. How many people had died and oh nope, never mind. They're alive. Somehow Emperor Palpatine returned. You know, so it's like, nah, bruh. Nah, this is science fiction. Stop it.
I think we inexplicably move the needle for no reason when we don't have to, because we're all intelligent. We've all been alive long enough, experienced different things. Chill, you touched on it before. If I can talk about, well, look at what they did with Brian O'Connor. Planet Fanatics can talk about what they did with Brian O'Connor. And you turn back around and say, well, look at what they did with William Hurt and Thunderbolt Ross. That's it. That's the end. If you take Derek Boseman's statement, you take when he passed away, Paul Walker passed away, then you add into it William Hurt's passing, this is over with. We're not talking about nothing else, because all those points are valid. Check off. Indisputable, can't be argued with. Anybody that's going to argue with those 3 points added together, it's just trolling.
Yeah, it really is. And last point, because we are getting ready to join the Dre Max show, who I put the link of his video right there. The last point is Chadwick Boseman's death and framing him as some sort of gatekeeper and as some sort of obstacle is the wrong way to do it. And I'm going to start using Chadwick Boseman's name when I talk about recasting. I'm going to talk about how valuable this guy is and the value he saw in it, and not to say let's misrepresent his ideas by saying he's some sort of obstacle.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, Planet Fanatics, I think you unmuted and you remuted. Is there something you want to say on the way out? No.
I'm good. You hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
we hear you.
I'm good. I do want to join with you and Dre, and I don't know if Theo's going over there. I would love to talk that Jonathan Major stuff too.
Okay, I'll send you that link right now. That's where we're going, everyone. Theo Butler can be followed IAS-IJS with Theo Butler, Theo B, and then Planet Fanatics is there as it's spelt. We'll be over on the Dre Max Show. Recast
Yes,
T'Challa conference complete.
Thank you for having